being on and joining us and participating with us on this rising. As being in a new place for right now. Let's see. Shalom, Sister Shantae. Shalom to those listening on the podcast. Those who listen and watch this on YouTube later on. We're appreciative and thankful and grateful for your time. Hello, Betty. How you doing? Shalom, Barbara. Shalom, Ransom. Shalom, Shea Butter. Sharice. Minister Nice. Everybody who's on. We're thankful and grateful and appreciative. And I apologize once again for being a little late. I'm so glad y'all pray for me and trying to finish strong, as we said. And in this period that I told you guys, I'm going to be busy and just up and down the road, traveling and stuck kind of in the northeast area of the Republic, the United States of America, trying to get stuff done, getting closer and closer to the end of that. It is wearing on me, though, if I be honest. Y'all just pray for me. I'm glad. Like I said, I'll be glad when the week of November 8th pops up and I actually have a little bit of free time again during the day to be able to just enjoy being stuff. But we're gonna make it through. It's a lot, and just trying to make it through there so I can get back. I have so many different things I am lacking on and slacking in, and a lot of different things. So y'all just pray for us. We're gonna, like we said, finish strong. This is our year of pursuit where we're pursuing the promises of the Most High. And we're grateful to be able to do so. Thank you for being on, everybody, on this rising. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in Yahweh's sight. He is our strength and our Redeemer. And it's in His authority, which is His name, that we pray, praise, proclaim, project, and protect this message. Amen. Ashe. Bonjour, je m'appelle Kofi. Hola, mi nombre es Kofi. Aquaaba. Etesen. Osayu. I see you. Hello. Hotep. Namaste, peace, Boker Tov, etc., etc. Shalom, shalom, right? Habari, Jambo, Mimini Kofi, Nina Franco, Gutana Nueve. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As we continue this series, even with people trying to slow us down and take us away from where we're supposed to be in our normal live sessions, we're being faithful to this. Don't forget, even though we're getting closer, prayerfully, everybody will be able to get this message with us having a lot of the places that we normally would let everybody know about this. Don't forget October 30th. Shalom, Brother Derek. Peace be to you. That October 30th, this Shabbat, this Saturday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern New York time, that's going to be our Brothers in Black. Which, by the way, I didn't think about to make sure that I need to send everybody a message. Those who are taking Hebrew characters, that means that we will actually have a break from Hebrew characters class, although you're more than welcome to join us for the Brothers in Black. But we'll be taking a break from that very soon, or, just for that Shabbat, that Saturday, because we will have the Hebrew characters class, or, we'll be doing the Brothers in Black event. And we have 4 dynamic speakers ready to go, so we're thankful and grateful. And we're asking all brothers be dressed in black in solidarity. Sisters, you're more than welcome to come. Children are more than welcome to be on. Everybody, we're excited about the subject matter, about the great things that the Most High is doing. Hey, shalom, Big Brother Thomas. And that is, we're not looking for any type of anything to be part of that. But if you want to participate in that, just let us know. Hey, how you doing? Speak Life, Yashtay, or Israel. How you doing? What we are going to do today is once again going to part 13 of the Sermon on the Mount series. We're in Matthew chapter 7. We'll be starting at verse 7. And because of the tardiness today, and by the way, I'm sorry, we give all praise and honor not only to the Most High, we give all praise and honor to the Most High for my wife, the Honorable Maya, that lives a life that's able to be honored. You can follow her at Bloom and Flourish, Bloom and Flourish, not A-N-D, but the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. You can follow her on TikTok, YouTube, and her website. Shalom, Minister Tamara, how you doing? So I'm just going to grab something to drink real quick. And as I'm pouring this, you can go ahead, once again, turn in your Bibles to Matthew chapter 7. And thank you for your patience. Thank you for your outpouring of love and your prayers. Shalom, how you doing? Sister Beverly. And we're just thankful and grateful for another opportunity. Shalom, Sister Erica. How are you? And excuse me. So we're appreciative to be on, thankful and grateful to be on today. Thank you for your time again as we get ready to go into this wonderful word. All right, Matthew chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7. And we're going to start at verse 7. This is part 14. If you'd like to be able to ask questions, or if you'd like to catch up with what we've been doing with the different parts or whatever, just feel free to look on YouTube, go to the podcast, go to different places where we have this recorded all over the place, and we'll be more than, and you'll have many different places to catch up on what we've been doing. So this is part 14, right? Yeah, part 14, and we're going to be discussing something very amazing in Matthew chapter 7 today, verse 7. So after speaking on the kingdom and the kingdom belonging to us and the law and marriage and making sure that you swear by your actions and knowing that you're the light of the world and being in this position to make sure that you don't do things just so that everybody else sees them, but do them for the right reasons, and making sure that you pray correctly and making sure that you communicate through your actions and all these different things that we've been talking about, and focusing on the kingdom of heaven and not being concerned about the small thing somebody else is going through and you don't have bigger things, or you're not accountable to certain things in your own personal life. We now get to the book of, we get to part 13 in the book of Matthew chapter 7, verse 7. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 7. And we will read today through verse 12. Matthew chapter 7, verses 7 through 12. And we will get started. So it reads as follows. It says, "Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find." Right? Ask, so let me start again. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For every one that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. Or what man is there of you, whom if his son ask bread, will he give him a stone? Or if he ask a fish, will he be given him a serpent? If ye then, being evil, and we're going to break down that word evil, right? But if ye then, being evil, know how to give great gifts, or give gifts that seem to be of great value unto your children, how much more shall your Father, which is in heaven, give great things to them that ask him? Right? Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do even so to them, for this is the law and the prophets. Wait a minute. So to do unto others as you want done unto them is what? Is the law and the prophets. Now remember this word and we're going to hit this word and a lot on this rising. So remember this word and is opt in Avda or Hebrew, and it means going towards something. Right? It means to go towards something. It means what? To go towards something. So when it says and this and that, do this and that, it's saying towards this. So it says this is not only to do greatness to others, right, the way that you want it to be done to you. It says that this is both the law, right? So we should follow this because it's law. And what does law do? Law protects rights. So if you want, one of the things you must do to protect your rights is to make sure that you treat others in the manner that you want to be treated. Why? Because this is the law and towards what the prophets did. In other words, the prophets, what made them prophets, one of the things that made them prophets is that they took what they had and did it for others. Thank you for the love, right? That they took what they had and gave it to others. They didn't keep it for themselves. They didn't make a whole long, big deal out of it. They didn't make sure everybody had to know about it. They didn't make sure that they did. They took what they had and they gave it to others. They weren't concerned about, if I give you this $5 on the street, are you going to get drunk off of the bump? No, they took what they had and they gave it to others. They didn't sell it. Oh, somebody, well, you give it. No. If people give the Levites didn't have to worry about selling anything because they were taken care of financially, right? So even if you want to go that route, right, the workmen being worked as higher, they didn't have to sell it. They were already taken care of, right? Because their father owned the cattle on 1,000 hills and set up a system to where they would be great. Their families would be taken care of. All they had to focus on was giving what they had, right? So context is very big on this. We hear these things, but you've got to make sure you've got context on this. So now here we are, and thank you for the love and the likes and the shares and all that stuff. Thank you. It helps us with the algorithm, even though we're, starting kind of from scratch a little bit, at least for this week before we go back to the main place. We're still excited. And actually, once I have time again, coming up now, we'll probably start using this kind of to pop up. So we'll kind of use live on both platforms to do some things. So that'll be kind of interesting down the road. But anyways, so now, and hello, shalom, Sister Katie, how are you doing? Thanks for being on. And everybody who's joining, F family and all this stuff, thank you for being on. So watch this. So going back to Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, ask, and it shall be given unto you. Right? But comprehend the context. Remember, we just read at the end, you got to give to receive. And isn't that what we just were talking about before? We just talked about coming out of part 13 yesterday. We talked about before you can give to somebody, you got to make sure that you know who you're giving it to, how it's going to be effective, is it going to be, how it's going to be received, right? Before it can even be received, all these different things. Make sure you're judging. If you're judging people, that's how you're going to be judged, right? So be careful how you're giving it, what you're giving it towards, all these different things, right? You're seeing this conversation take place before you, right? So be careful how you're judging. Be careful what you're saying. Be careful what you're doing. All these different things, right? So, before that, even then, it's seek ye first the kingdom. Make sure it's about the kingdom, right? Before that, it's, hey, make sure that you don't have cognitive dissonance. Fast from certain things, and make sure that you are holy, that you're whole, so that you don't have cognitive dissonance, right? Before that, it's teach, making sure that we have to pray. How do you communicate to the Most High? Like, you see what I'm saying? It's about giving this kingdom that we started talking about from Matthew chapter 4, verse 23. This kingdom has us going all the way through now still to talking about how we're giving, what we're giving. And so if we give a certain thing, that's the context. If we're giving things to the kingdom, if we're giving certain things through the law, if we're being obedient to the law, right, then whatever we ask for, we shall, or it shall be given unto us. See the context is not just ask. That's what you were told, right? That's what you were taught. That's what you were taught when you were growing up, and that's what a lot of us still teach and still reading it as, right? Ask and you shall receive. No. The context is within the kingdom. Shalom, Sister Cassandra. The context is within the kingdom, ask. Right? With the context is what? Within the kingdom, within law, within being obedient, ask. Give and ask. Give, then ask, right? If I give it, shalom, Sister Deshima, if I'm giving what's necessary, now I can ask. If I'm being obedient to law, then I can ask, right? Give and then ask. You see that? That's what's going on. There's a context. It's not just ask whatever you want and you'll get it. Right? That's what people like to tell you. Just ask the universe whatever you want. You hear that all the time. Just ask the universe. You're not asking the right questions. Right? Just say the right thing over and over again. The law of attraction will give you whatever you ask for. No. Give and you shall receive. Right? We talked about that Luke chapter 6, verse 37 and 38. Then we even went even further than that. Right? To make sure that we comprehended the context of what was going on in Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 through 6. Give. Right? So if you judge, you shall be judged. If you condemn, however you judge, you shall be judged. However you condemn people, you shall be condemned. However if you don't forgive people, you shall not forgive people. That's why whatever you give, it shall be given unto thee. Great measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that you meet, that you're feeding, that you're putting out there, that you're giving, it shall be given unto thee. So now we're back in Matthew chapter 7, and verse 7, he says, look, if you ask, right, it shall be given. So so watch this, if people ask you and you give, then when you ask the Most High, he shall give. Shalom, Sister Helen, how you doing? Right? That's the context. If people ask you for stuff and you give it, did you catch that? It's a different context, right? If people ask you for things and you give, then you should be able to ask and be given. You see how that works? There's a different way than what we teach or what we think or how we produce this stuff or what we think should cause manifestation. If I give something, then I should receive something because it's better to give. We're just setting it up for me to receive. That's why it's better to give. It's better to give because the give is the setup. Right? I'm setting up the blessing to be commanded unto me. Shalom, butterfly. How you doing? Right? I'm setting up the blessing to be commanded unto me. The Bible says that he commanded the blessing. I'm setting up the commandment. I'm setting up the law. I'm giving so that he would have to command the blessing. The blessing has to come to me because he shall command it, but I have to give first. That's the principle. And the better I give, the more I will receive. To the point to where even when they try and take me down on whatever platform it is, right? It doesn't matter. Why? We're still doing the same thing. We're still going to go about stuff. We're still going to be faithful. We're still going to be able to do things the way we're doing. We still have people showing up. We're still dealing with calls. Just because we don't have 10,000 people plus for a week every day doesn't mean that we're not going to give out the same thing. Why? Because it's not the amount of people that are showing up, it's the amount of giving that we give. And when we start giving, when we keep the giving and the giving keeps increasing, watch, when everybody pops back up, you're going to be amazed at the stuff that happens. So you'll be amazed at stuff that's happening behind the scenes right now. Shalom, Mardon, how you doing, right? So I've got to give, and when I give, now I set up the receiving. That's the context. So now back to Matthew 7, verse 7. Ask, because you've given, ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, right, and you shall find. Because why? Why? If you've been seeking it, you will find it. You're giving, seeking, right? So therefore, it's there for you to find, right? Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. People have been knocking. People have been knocking and saying, hey, can I have this? Can I have your time? Can I do this? Okay. Right? It shall be. I've been opening doors. I've been trying to open up context. I've been trying to open up this where the Most High says, okay, I see you doing that. And so now I'm going to give you more. I got to open up more to you because I can trust you with more, because when you had little, you were faithful over it and you made it grow and you gave people hope and you gave people opportunity and you used your calling. This is what he's looking for you. What are you doing with this, right? When you only had 2 people, did you doubt? When you started your business, but you were in the red all the time, did you doubt? Because your business is going to start in the red. You got to invest in, buy the tools and buy the housing and or whatever it is that you're doing. But you got to buy your tools. You got to buy your place to stay. You got to buy your land. You got to you have to buy your material. You might have to buy a special type of oven. You might do this. You might do that. Right? Like, but he's seeing, are you going to be faithful now? Right, and use it to bless people even now so that he can open up the door later on. Okay, I think we've seen that. We kind of worn that out, right? So Matthew chapter 7, verse 8 now says, for everyone that asketh, receiveth. Now here's a crucial part. So you're going to see a TH on all these words. You're going to see a TH on all these words. The TH on the words means it's continuous. So you didn't just ask for it once. It's going to be talking about faithfulness now. See, be faithful with it. Don't give up in this, right? Because everyone that asketh, for everyone that asketh, receiveth. That means everyone that continues to ask. Just because I didn't get it doesn't mean that I stopped. Or doesn't mean I stopped believing it was going to happen. Or doesn't mean that I stopped talking about it. Doesn't mean that I stopped saying, yeah, I'm thankful for it, even though I haven't seen it yet, right? Everyone that asketh continuously shall what? Receiveth continuously. So if you keep asking, you'll keep receiving. If you keep asking the right questions, you'll receive the right answers. And you might not like the answers all the time, but you'll receive the answer. Keep asking. Right? That's what we're big about. Hey, ask the questions you want. I'm only human, so I can only answer so many, right? Somebody contacted me the other day talking about, well, I'm texting you because it seems like you never pay attention to me or whatever, but I'm texting you now. I was like, well, it's great that you texted me. That's why we put the number out. I'm glad that you found a way to keep asking. So now what is your question? Right? So I'm only a human being. Now he's Yah, right? But I'm only a human being. I can only do so much. So I can't see everything that pops up, but hey, especially when we're on the other platform, right? And we've got tens of thousands of people showing up and doing all. Look, I can't, catch everything. But you kept on asking. Now's your chance. Ask your question. Ask away. You got me now, right? You kept seeking. They didn't stop, right? So if you ask, everyone that asketh receiveth, right? And he that seeketh findeth. And the thing is, people will find one thing. I'm sorry, Erica says, with that context, it's always a giving cycle. If we, as a community, did that, we'd be great. There you go, right? And if we keep seeking, or everybody who seeketh will find it. So the context is the same, but he's talking about an eternal principle. Don't just be happy with seeking at one time. People talk about, oh my goodness, I had that experience, right? I had that Holy Ghost experience. He showed up. Praise Yah, he showed up. He showed up one time. What if you keep on seeking him in that way? Do you think he'll only show up once? In the midst of dancing, be excited that he did. But if you want to have another dance and seek him, you don't have to wait till Sunday for it either. You don't have to wait for the organ to strike up. Just seek him today and see if he'll show up. Matter of fact, that's why you'll find it. It's not that he's hiding himself from you. It's that because you don't seek, you've hidden yourself from him. Seek him constantly and consistently, and see if you don't see him constantly and consistently. Right? That's the issue. It's not was he there or not. I'm so glad I found him. Look, he already knew where you were. He'd been waiting on you. Right? Oh man, I'm so glad that y'all showing up, and he's showing up with more regularity. He's always showing up. The question is, are you seeking him? Right? I'm somebody, if I can be honest with you, because I'm very micro. I'm not very macro, I'm very micro. So stuff has to be like in the same exact place for me all the time, or else like I can't find it. I'm just going to admit you, right? I'm that husband where like if you move my keys 2 inches over, I can't find them, right? Some of y'all know about that, and some of you have sons like that. Some of you might be that person, right? Where you don't mess around. Like if I've got something and I put them in this place every day, and you move them, from here, like you got them, instead of it being on my desk, you've got it all the way over on the bookcase or something like that. Like, why'd you move it to the bookcase? Like, now it's impossible for me to find, right? But it doesn't mean the keys weren't there, right? All I had to do was seek the keys. I had to be, but I get so frustrated because, I can't find my keys. But it doesn't mean the keys aren't there. They're right there. I just got to go look for them, right? And my wife, she doesn't get frustrated anymore because she just knows how I am. So if I'm having issues or if I'm too frustrated, you know what I do? I asketh. I ask, hey, babe, did you see my keys? And it could have been me that even put them in the wrong place. I could be tired and just forget, and I just put my keys down. I go to sleep. I wake up. I can't find my keys. They're in the same place. Babe, she's like, oh, yeah, when you came in, you put them over there. I asketh, right? I start seeking. I get a little frustrated, so I ask. And so I do this continuously. If it's something, and she knows this because it used to be something where it's like, man, why can't you just look for stuff? But she knows who I am. And so because she loves me, she will what? When I ask her something, she will give me what I ask. She knows that I need this key to be able to travel. She knows I need this key to be able to get into the storage unit. She knows I need this key to be able to do, et cetera, et cetera. So therefore, if I ask for it, she will get up, even if she's asleep, even if she's tired, even if she's frustrated, she has to get up. She will get up and she will give me. Why? Because she loves me. See, Yah, he loves us, and because he loves us, he will give us that which we ask for. Right? Because he loves us, he will give us that which we ask for. The next part of it says what? And everyone who knocketh, it shall be opened. And I love that one because that goes with Revelation chapter 3, verse 8. That he's opened doors for us that no man can shut, and he's going to shut doors no man can open. If you knock on certain doors, I don't care what devil in hell, I don't care what person who's trying to stop you, I don't care what enemy, I don't care what person that's against your family, I don't care what person thinks that you're in a cult and doesn't want to listen to you, I don't care what person doesn't value what you have to say. If the Most High opens a door for you, no man can shut it. And that means that no man can prevent it from being opened if he decides to open it up. Hallelujah. Amen. Right? If he opens it, No man can stop it from being opened. If no man can open it and no man can shut it, that means no man can stop it from being opened and no man can stop it from being shut. He's ready to open the door for you. Not only ready to open the door for you, he really in eternity has already opened the door. You're stuck in time, so you just haven't seen the door open yet. So the problem is not that the door is not open. The problem is that you won't knock. The door is designed to be open when you knock. It is your knocking that necessitates that he turns the key of David and allows you into what he's already opened. Key of David, by the way, people say that you're making stuff up. That's Revelation 3:7, right before Revelation 3:8, right? He's ready to open the door. The door is already open unto us. Will you not? Watch this. So now he has the this is Yeshua, right? Still, this is Yeshua HaMashiach, still speaking, still preaching, right? This is not man. This is not somebody. This is not just one of the prophets. This is not just somebody you could say is not. No, this is if you believe in Yeshua, or if those of you want to call him Jesus Christ or whatever, then this is him still talking, right? And what does he say? Now, he's going to get into something where he says, this is the reason why you have a problem having the door open. This is why you have a problem seeking. This is why you have a problem asking. This is why you have a problem knocking. He's about to tell us, all right? This is why you have a problem. Now, even if you have a giving spirit, a lot of times you have a problem asking, seeking, and knocking. Why is that? He starts to answer the question. This is why. Because you don't think that you will be able to receive, or you don't think you'll be able to see. You don't think you'll be able to get what the Most High has. You don't think that the Most High wants to give you something. You don't really think that he loves you like that. Sometimes because you don't love yourself, right? You don't think that he really wants you to have what you're supposed to have. You don't really believe that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You don't really believe that you are the head and not the tail. You don't really believe that you are above and never beneath. You have a hard time believing that you should never be the lender. You should never be the borrower. You should start only being the lender because you've been the borrower your whole life. It's hard for us because we don't really believe it. This is what Yahshua does. He's trying to get you to see this is something that's blocking your blessing, and we've got to work past that. We've got to establish who we really are. Check this out. You ready? All right, check this out. This is what he's saying. This is what's going to help us with our birthright, with our right. This is law protects rights. He's trying to speak law to us to get us to understand rights. Like we talked about in verse 12, that it says that this is the law and the prophets, right? So people even have taken away the law from you, telling you don't worry about the law, but the law protects your right to be able to believe that you should have whatever the Most High says that you should have. This is law, right? This is what Yahshua HaMashiach said, right? This is the law. So let's look at this law. Matthew chapter 7. Okay. Matthew chapter 7. And we're going to verse 9. Check this out. This is what he challenges us. Right? This is a challenge. I want you to get a challenge here, right? I'm in, Austria. I'm in Nightwolf. I'm in. So this is a challenge to you and I. Are you ready? This is the challenge for you. This is the challenge for your day. I want you to think about this throughout your day. I want you to think about this throughout your week. I want you to really meditate on this today. I don't want you to just hear this and not do anything with this. I want you to really meditate on this, okay? All right, check this out. He says in verse 9, Matthew chapter 7, verse 9, or what man is there of you whom if his son asks bread will give him a stone? Right? If your son is hungry, right, and you would do the reverse, as what Yahshua was challenged in the wilderness. Remember, Yahshua was challenged by Satan. Satan says, if you're really who you say you are, turn these stones into bread, right? And he says, no, I don't turn stones into bread. Shalom, Stephen, how you doing? Shalom, Digga Khan, how you doing? He said, no, I don't turn stones into bread, right? He says, we shall not live by bread alone anyways, but by every word that's uttered out the mouth of Yahweh. Well, he says the reverse here. Which one of you, if as a father who loves his children, if your child said that you were hungry, or they were hungry, if my child comes to me, if one of my children says, Dad, I'm hungry, I want something to eat, when would I say, okay, go ahead, go here, I would go outside, chip off a stone from our outer wall or whatever and give it to them and say, eat this. Like, what father in their right mind would do that? What parent in their right mind? What mother in their right mind would give their child something that's not edible when their child says they're hungry? Right? So keep the context of this. It seems like a weird question to ask, but keep the context. What man of you would, if your son asked bread, would give him a stone? Verse 10. Or if he asked a fish, would give him a serpent? I want a fish. I want some fish, Dad. I want to eat some fish. Okay, cool. We're gonna have some fish. Maybe we'll do some tuna. We got to find some tuna without some mercury all over. But maybe we'll eat some tuna, or maybe we'll eat this. Maybe we'll eat that, right? And then maybe we'll have some whiting, whatever. Then all of a sudden, next thing you know, um, I say, you know what? No, you asked for fish, but we're not really gonna do fish. Let's just go ahead and have a cobra. A cobra? I didn't ask for a cobra. I asked for fish, right? So, right? So in other words, as a parent, it wouldn't make sense that a parent who loves their child, asks for something by their child, would give them something outside of what their child asked for, right? So verse 11, it says, if ye then, being evil, know how to give good or great gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father which is in heaven give you great things, or things that are like Elohim, or good things, as written in the English, to them that ask for them. Now here's a crucial part of this. This word evil, because if you're not careful, you will think that the Bible is possibly saying that you are evil, or you are only as good as evil. You're no good, basically. So if you're evil, but you can do good. But that's not what this word really is saying, right? When we look up this word, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we can just go ahead. We're going to do something simple. We're not even going to go deep and all that stuff. We're just literally going to look up what it says in the concordance, right? We're just going to look it up. Matthew chapter 7, verse 11. We're going to look up what it says in the Strong's Concordance, one of the easiest ones to be able to go to. Not always one of the best, but one of the easiest to go to, right? It says, so if you are evil, I just want to show you, it actually does a really good job with this translation, even though it's translated the Greek version of the Hebrew word. Nevertheless, though, I want you to see this. It says, if you yourself are evil, yet you will bless your children. So when it says you are evil, what is it saying? Let's look up, when we look up this word that they use is evil, what is it saying? What does this adjective really mean? If you are evil, right? If that's the adjective using to describe you, it's a lot of people would think, oh, that means that I'm bad, I'm this, but that's not what the word means. That's why we have to make sure we study these words and get outside of just modern context or things like that. Check this out. It's saying, if you who are full of labors, that's one way this can be looked at. If you are full of labors, in other words, if you are jobbing out, right? If you who are so busy with other things would still, if your child asks you for something, you would take care of them. That sounds like something similar, right? When people say, oh, well, job and toil, I didn't know where it is, because if we don't know the culture. It's saying those of you who are so busy doing so many things that it takes you away from your children, you still make time if your child says to you, hey, mom, hey, dad, can I have this toy? You don't give them, if they ask for a toy, you don't say, you know what, here's a blade of grass. You don't give them something different. You have enough sense and enough love for them to do something for them that is amazing, right? Right? Or here's another definition. You bringing toils, right? Or jobs or annoyances. Even when you're annoyed, you still have enough sense to do what? To give to your child what they ask for, right? Or what they need even at times. Okay? The next part of the definition can be perils. Even if you're going through a perilous struggle, your child doesn't even know. How many times, you would be amazed at how many times when you were growing up, your parents thought that they were going to lose their mind. They knew they were going to get kicked out of their apartment or their house. They knew that they weren't going to be able to pay bills. They didn't think they were going to be able to feed you. And you never once sensed it. You might have even sensed it a little bit, but let's say it like this. You never knew the full extent of what they were going through, because every time they saw you, they still smiled. Every time you asked for something, they found a way to get it to you, right? Even though I'm not about celebrating Christmas, for those of you who grew up celebrating Christmas, every time you needed a Christmas present, your tree had everything underneath it, right? They blessed you with everything they could give you. They gave you the best effort every time, no matter what. They were full of glee to do it. They were excited to do it. They were thankful to do it. They were amazing in the way that they did it, and they did all those things all the time, no matter what, for you, right? And so if your parents going through those perils, it's saying Times full of perils, right? Or times that you have to be steadfast in your faith, or times that you are causing you pain and trouble. You're going through sickness, and yet even when you're sick, even when you're struggling, even when you're going through that dis-ease, even when you're going through that discomfort, even when you are having to go through all these treatments and different things, even when you don't know if you're going to be able to survive, even if you're trying to set up things because in your mind you don't know if you'll be around for the next born day, and all those things, you still show love to your children. Here's another way of looking at it. Even if you are of a bad nature or a bad condition, even if you are of a bad nature or a bad condition, even if you're not all the way there, what you need to be for your children yet, or you don't live in the manner that you need to live for your family yet, right? Even if in a physical sense you are diseased or blinded, that can also be what this word is talking about, right? It's not saying evil like you're sinful, right? It's talking about even if your situation is in a physical sense diseased or blind, if it's in an ethical sense, even, yes, evil and wicked and bad. Even bad people who are wicked still take care of their children and give their children what they want. Wicked people who have children still make sure that their children eat bread. They don't feed them stones. Wicked people who are evil still make sure they take care of their children. So he says in all those things, whether you're toiling, whether you're busy, whether you're full of labors, whether you're full of trouble, whether you're going through sickness and disease, all these different things, he says in the midst of all of those things, this is Yeshua speaking, he says you still take care of your children. If you, in the midst of all those problems, therefore, he says in verse 11, if you are in the midst of all those issues and still take care of your babies, he says, how much more so will your heavenly Father who art in heaven take care of you? Right? And that takes us back to what? That takes us back to part, what is this? I'm sorry, y'all. That would take us back to part 12. That would take us back to part 12. Right? Seeking first the kingdom. Right? Why do you have concern? He asked the question. Yahshua asked earlier in this sermon, he said, why do you take so much care and concern for your life? If you've survived everything, why are you thinking you won't survive this? If you have never been in a position where you have starved to death, right? You've never been in a position where people have come to have to visit you at your casket, right? He says, why are you worried about it now? You said at your worst, you've been attentive to your children. Yeah, so if all these things are there, why is it that you believe that the Most High wouldn't take care of you? Why is it that you think, oh, I've done something so wrong, he wouldn't take care of me? If your child has done things, look, you could finish spanking your child. Then after you finish spanking your child, still take them to the playground. Right? Like, just because your child deserves discipline doesn't mean that they're still not your baby and you won't bless them. You can finish spanking your child and make sure that they eat food. You're not going to say, okay, or even if, and I've been this child, sent to bed hungry one time, right? Even though it was never really sent to bed hungry, because somehow, some way, mama would still find a way to sneak you something or let you off the hook or make sure that you had a really nice breakfast the next day or whatever, or you had ate a lot before they decided to go ahead and do it. And it was never really, if you look at it, you were never really sent to bed without food or something like that. And it had to be something extremely foolish, right? But at the end of the day, I can't remember. And all the stuff I remember as a child, oh, I'm so hungry and saying stuff like that. I can't really tell you the time that I've gone a day, 2 days, 3 days. I can't tell you the time that I went, 2 meals, whatever, without somebody making sure that I ate. Unless I myself chose not to eat. I can't tell you that, right? Because in the midst of everything, my mother, my father, people who were trusted to watch me, they made sure that I had to eat. And so if our Heavenly Father who art in heaven, right, who has all access to all these things, and you need something, what in the world makes you think that he wouldn't give it to you unless you doubt that you can't ask him, right? Come on, right? Unless you think you can't ask, unless you think it's something you shouldn't even seek because in your mind you can't ask for it, and because what? In your mind you don't think that you should knock because you shouldn't come before his presence boldly. That's the only thing preventing you, is because something has happened in your life that has taken what should be established as being bold as his child and coming up to him and saying, hey, I need to eat of this, or I need a question answered, or I need finances for this, or I need you to make sure that you take care of my family, or I need you to make sure that you're watching me while I'm going through these things. We didn't ask him boldly. And because we did not ask him boldly, or because we've gone through some things, we think we're not allowed to come before him boldly. So we don't ask, we don't seek, we don't knock. So he's saying, stop being in a position where you're blocking your own blessing. The Most High has never said that you can't come to him and pray to him about this. He's never had a conversation with you. He's never had anything with you that said, hey, you can't ask or seek or not. You made a decision that you shouldn't ask or seek or not. And that's what your problem is. You think that because you've done something wrong, that you shouldn't ask or seek or not. That's not that's not on him. That's on you. Ask continuously, and it shall be given. Seek continuously, and you shall continuously find. Knock continuously, and it shall be open unto you continuously, right? Even if you don't feel like you are perfect, you are just uncomprehending the kingdom while you are being perfected, and because you have a giving spirit, and because you were doing what the law says, and because you were trying your best to what? To repent, to turn, right? Not so don't just say I'm not going to do it no more, but because you're repenting and making it a point to say I'm not going to go that direction anymore, and I'm going to do everything in my power, then since you're doing that, hear what I'm saying? Since you're doing that, then it says that he has to do what he's supposed to do. Right? So don't stop asking, don't stop seeking, don't stop knocking. That's on you. If you've stopped asking, seeking, and knocking because you've made it up in your mind that because you're human, that he will no longer answer you as his child. That he will no longer open things up to you as his child, that he will no longer make sure that he makes himself available to find because you are his child. Because you are his child, as a matter of fact, you should comprehend that you should never stop asking, seeking, and knocking. Asking forgiveness, seeking forgiveness, knocking on the door for forgiveness if you feel like you haven't gotten it yet. Asking for love, seeking love, knocking on the door for love. Asking for advice, seeking advice, knocking advice, asking for leadership, seeking leadership, knocking on the door for leadership. Whatever it is, you need to keep asking, seeking, and knocking, because the more you do so, the more that your Father who art in heaven, whose name is hallowed, he will be able to give you his kingdom and his will in earth inside of you and in the earth that you are over, the same way it is in heaven, and rain down the manna to give you his daily bread so that you can even go to forgive others that you didn't think you could forgive, so you could be forgiven of your sins, right? And therefore you will never be led into temptation, but what? You will be delivered from all evil. Why? Because you're in tune with the kingdom, and you're therefore in tune with the power, and therefore you're in tune with the glory. How long? Forever. Amen. Amen. Right? But don't stop asking. What's that old song? There's an old rock and roll song. Was it Don't Stop Believing? Right? Whatever song it is, right? Is that, I don't even know the name of the group. Is it Journey or something? Right? Don't Stop Believing. You know, I like little stuff like that when I hear little things like that. I don't even remember the whole song, but I remember Don't Stop Believing. You know why? Like, I know the chorus to it and everything. I had to play it before, but I don't even know the words of it. But I like Don't Stop Believing. Right? Don't stop asking. Don't stop seeking. Don't stop knocking. Right? Don't stop believing. Just because you had an issue doesn't mean that that's it. That's the end. That you can't do anything else. It is Journey, okay. So, you know, you have to do that. You have to believe. Don't stop asking. Don't stop seeking. Don't stop knocking. Why? Last verse, right back to what we talked about to make sure we had this context. Verse 12. Therefore, Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. Therefore, so because of everything we've discussed, therefore, because of that, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. Right? Therefore, because you want to seek and find, because you want to knock and to be open, because you want to ask and it be given, with somebody, therefore, the only way to open that up lawfully to you. Remember, he said this is the law and the prophets. The law towards what the prophets did. The prophets had to do this themselves. So if you want what the prophets got, you got to do this yourself. What does Yahshua say that the prophets did? He said, look, the prophets made sure that if somebody asked them for something, they gave. If somebody sought them for something, the prophet made sure they had something they found. Right? right? Not just was asked stuff and I don't know about that. Your other answer, I don't know, or I just agree with whatever you say. Or no. If you asked the prophet something, the prophet had to know the word enough to be able to give. Right? Had to be in tune with the spirit enough to be able to give. Had to be able to be in tune with eternity to be able to see what it is that they were, the person's trying to find. So make sure that you're in a position where when you're asked, you can give. Sovereignty. You see that? Sovereignty. Are you in a position where somebody asks you for something you can give? Right? Are you in a position where somebody's seeking something from you, they can find something from you? Right? Not just have a conversation, not just, oh, it's nice to talk. No, when I talk to you, I get results. I take pride in that, by the way. Now, sometimes my answer might be, I don't know right now. Let's get into that later on. But if somebody comes to me for some coaching or something like that, guess what? Like if you seek, you should be able to find something. If you can't find the result from the person that you're trying to seek something from, then what's the point of being around the person you're trying to seek something from? If you come to me for advice, I should be able to give you something. You should be able to find something to feel better and greater about something in your life. If you come to a class, you should be able to get something out of that class that helps you to feel greater and more comfortable and more vital with that class. Right? If you come to us and you're trying to be in this thing to get land, then you should see some result, right, as far as land. If you come to us looking to simply make sure, oh man, they're talking about coming together, and the vision for us, even before we get the land, is for us to start actually physically seeing each other, then like I said, I'm going to start reaching out to people, and I'm going to start asking, hey, can we do this? Even if we can't get the hotel, we might have to ask sometimes and trust and have faith. I've been talking to my wife about having faith and saying, hey, some of you guys, we might call you and say, look, we don't really have finances right now to be able to just stay at such and such hotel this long, blah, blah, whatever, for a week, 2 weeks or something like that. Maybe you guys might let us stay for a couple of days. You guys might let us stay a couple of days. Somebody else might let us stay the next 3 days, and we can be in the area and we can all get together on a regular basis, right? But we have to start what? Asking. We got to start asking people. Like I really believe when you guys say, a lot of you say, man, we'll help you, we'll host you, we'll do this or whatever. So guess what we're going to start being ready to do? We're going to start asking. And we'll see if we receive, right? If we're going to be out there being who we're supposed to be, then at some point we have to have faith in the process. That means we got to ask and hopefully we receive, right? Ask and you receive. Seek and you will find. Seek out. Is there anybody willing to do? Is there anybody willing to meet up in this time? If we come out here for 2 weeks, are 10, 20 people willing to come together, and we can start seeing what 10, 20 people in that area, and now we can start seeing, okay, this person will, maybe you can be the person who's kind of like, the assembler or the headeth of a certain extent of this group. We can start putting stuff together where we meet regularly, right? Even if it's regularly, it might be once a month, once every other week, once a week. I don't know. But at least we can have places where people are meeting. And now that my time is freed up, hey, I don't mind getting out there. And if I got to travel 20-something hours, 30-something hours on the road, whatever, I don't care. My family, that's what we do anyways. We go, we travel, we do the word in the will of Yah, whatever we need to do to make this stuff happen, right? But we're going to start depending on family. You guys are family. We're going to start depending on each other. And so, as we do these things, we have stuff planned for our young boys and eventually for our young women and for our older men and for our older women, to be able to help them to be able to grow and do certain things or whatever. We got to start asking and believing that we'll have something given. We got to start seeking and believing that there's something out there for find. We got to start knocking, right? Knocking on things, trying to figure it out. Okay, look, how do we do this with land? Oh, we got to do this and this and this. Okay, how do we do this with the bank account there? Okay, we got to do this and this. Okay, we found out. All right, bank account, want the money, don't want it to be touched. We're a little short of the goal right now as far as the average of $3,000 a month, but we're going to keep knocking, right? So, we're about, we're a little under 2,000 right now saved up. That's great because the average to get to 30,000 would be 30,000. So we have a few more people asking about it. And as we go on and on and on, when we get a certain amount of families, we go past that or whatever. Next thing you know, we're able to keep reaching these goals, right? You keep knocking, you keep seeking, you keep asking, you keep doing these things, and the Most High will bless you. Right? The Most High will bless you. He will take care of what it is that's necessary for you, right? But you have to keep seeking and asking and knocking and believe that because He loves you and you're His child, that He will take care of you in the kingdom, especially because you're giving out these principles to others. And when people do this stuff to you, you have something. When people come and they say, hey, I need advice, right? Have something that's biblical to give. right? If somebody comes to you and they say, hey, I'm asking you, do you know somewhere I can go to make sure that I'm dealing with abuse or whatever. Don't say, man, I'm praying for you, but I'm kind of busy, and here's some stuff. At least go through the journey of, hey, it don't take but 5 minutes for me to look on my phone. Here's some places that you can go. Hey, I know this street name right here. Maybe, I can't do anything right now, but maybe I can drive you later, or maybe I can call one of my friends, or maybe I can give you, some stuff, or maybe I can download Uber or Lyft real quick and just kind of make sure you get over there real quick and so into you having a new beginning. And here's a phone number, even if it's not my phone number, here's a phone number. You know what? My pastor, like, I'm pretty sure he would call and talk to you if you need somebody to talk to about these things. Here's Pastor Kofi's number, like, whatever, like, so. When somebody comes to you, have something. When somebody, like we talked about, was it yesterday? When you have these women that come into churches and they're having babies, and there's babies out of wedlock, and everybody acts like they should turn their backs on them and stuff like that, and therefore they don't ever want to come back to an assembly again or to a church again, right? Because I came there, I asked you genuinely. People said they would pray for me, and really they did it while they were looking down on me and sucking their teeth like, here come one of these young things again, the little fast girl and all this stuff, right? And talking bad about them when they themselves had babies out of wedlock, right? Never coming back, rather than having the chance to really love up on somebody. And what happens if that person that you love up on, you have that person become great? Now that person who's great, now they're tithing into what you're doing. If you want to be selfish with it, fine. Think about blessing them so that you can be blessed back, right? Ask, because if you do that to others, the Most High says, I got to use what you did to others, right? I got to take what you gave, and I make sure it's given unto you. Great measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, so that men, it's human beings, he says, will give unto your bosom. For with the same measure that you give out, that you meet, it shall be given unto thee. All right, so it is time for me to take my leave. Thank you all so much. I appreciate the King and Queen in each and every one of you. I don't really have time. However, we have a smaller group. So you guys should know the number by now, the numbers by now. We are still looking October 30th, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern New York time. We're still looking forward to having everybody on for our brothers in black. If you're a man, we're asking that you come dressed in black in solidarity. If you are a woman, you can come. If you're a child, you can come. Invite whoever you'd like to. We're thankful and grateful for everybody. We will continue this series tomorrow rising at 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern New York time. We'll be on part 15. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all for your prayers. Thank you for showing up and being faithful. Thank you for those who came out yesterday, and we continued our early riser session. We're going to continue to go down that route, so make sure that you're ready for next Monday, 6:45 a.m. Eastern in New York time. Matter of fact, those who are on ministerial staff, we're going to go ahead and say be prepared somewhere down the road to lead some of these as well. I'm going to give you probably months to be prepared for the early riser session, because we want to go extremely deep. We don't want to be surface level at all, and we want you to have that hour to flow and to function and to operate in. So be ready for that. And also, I'll probably give you something specific so that by the time we get to you, like, it's very clear how the flow is going. We've lined it up, all those things. So just be ready for that. But thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and take my leave, and we'll be on this evening, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern New York time. For those of you who are new on this, the original TikTok channel we're coming back to, rather than the one that we've been kicked off right now from doing the lives on Sunday, for Sunday's live session, where we're going to have my wife come back on, and we'll be back in front of everybody else. We're to make it open for everybody on Zoom and on live, right? So if you'd like to join us for that special session Sunday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern or New York time, that will be back on Kofi_42. That should be the first session that we're back on Kofi_42. And also, I am sorry, there's one more thing. We'll be back on Kofi_42. Oh, yeah, we'll be talking about Hallows Eve. That'll be at 7 o'clock p.m. I'm sorry, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern in New York time. And we wanted it to be open to Zoom, so if you have children or anybody that wants to kind of be part of the conversation, it's Hallows Eve, Halloween, all that stuff, feel free to be part of that. So I'm going to get out of your way. I haven't said that in a week or a week plus. I'm going to take my leave. I'm getting better. I'm going to take my leave. We are thankful and grateful for the opportunity to be before you again. Thank you to everybody who's shalom to you as well, Katie. Shalom to everybody else. Shalom, Anubis. You said you were down and kept asking, seeking, and knocking. You have a new breakthrough. Amen. Right? Yeah. Don't give up. right? Don't give up just because some things are going wrong. Hashtag finish strong. Yep, this is our year of pursuit. We're going to hashtag finish strong. We're pursuing the promises of the Most High. And please follow my wife, the Honorable Bloom and Flourish. Not A-N-D, but the letter N. Bloom and Flourish. You can follow her on TikTok, YouTube, and her website. Please pray for me. I'm telling you guys, this next couple of weeks is going to be really difficult for me because the stuff I'm doing, I really don't want to participate in anymore. However, I know it's something vital for the family, for the community, and for others, and it'll work out dividends. But y'all just pray for me. Stuff that I've been doing and running around doing for a while, it's been taking its toll on me. But the week of November 8th, I'm looking forward to that. So y'all just keep me in prayer. We're going to finish strong in that, as I was encouraged to do so earlier by, I think it was Minister Anais, right? But thank you all for being on, as always. I'm sorry. And our prayer is that you be not only hearers of this word, but doers as well. And we give all praise to the Most High for his word, for he is mighty, great things has he done, and he's worthy to be praised. If you want the Zoom link, we'll get the Zoom link out pretty much on Sunday, maybe on Shabbat, maybe on Saturday as well, but on Sunday is when we'll be primarily giving that Zoom link out. So, just if you don't have the number to text us or whatever, just, send me a DM. It's probably better to send me a DM on Kofi _42. So not this one, but the number 2 added. So if you don't follow that one already, or you're not subscribed or whatever it is, if you're not part of the community on this one, on the other one with the number 2 at the end, find that one, and then DM us and let us know if you don't have the number to be able to contact us. But I'm going to go ahead and take my leave. Thank you so much for being on. If you want to DM us here, you can. I just don't check this one almost at all. So I don't know how easy it'll be for you to find us there. But just look up hashtag FindKofi too. Hashtag FindKofi. Find a video. Find a YouTube video. Hashtag FindKofi. Find something. And, look us up there. And when you do, you'll be, you can contact us through there. Just, type in on one of the videos, hey, I would like a link or whatever. But yeah, just contact us. We'll be back on tomorrow rising. I'll make sure I have more time to get into the numbers and everything like that and the contact information. If you need, I'll leave it real quick. I got to go. So real quick, this is it. So you're going to have to take a screenshot. When I say real quick, you're going to take a screenshot. It's not going to be up here that long, okay? But real quick, if you need it, I got a screenshot for you, or something you can take a screenshot of, rather. So here you go. That's the number you can reach us at, text us at, let us know you want the link, and we'll send you the link by Sunday. We'll have the Zoom link to everybody, but we'll have it on live and the Zoom link. So I'm not saying you have to have the Zoom link for Sunday, or I guess if you want to be on Saturday for the Brothers in Black, you got to have the Zoom link. So if you want the Zoom link for that, we'll be giving that out like Friday and Saturday. If you want the Zoom link for Sunday, remember Sunday will be live and on Zoom. If you want your children to be on for Sunday for Hallows Eve to have a conversation about Hallows Eve with us at 7 p.m., then you need to make sure that you have the the Zoom link. If you just went on Sunday to be part of the conversation, just listen, you can be on live with us on Kofi _42, or later it'll be on Zoom, or later it'll be live on the podcast. Also, too, don't forget, on the podcast, you can join the podcast. You can join live on the podcast, and through the podcast, you can call in. So if you have the Podbean app, Podbean, if you have the Podbean app, you can call in. All right. That being said, I've got to roll out. Thank you so much for being on. We appreciate the King and Queen in each and every one of you, as always. This is Pastor Kofi, a.k.a. the Shadow Band One, Pastor and Servant of Christ, where we're always changing lives, one mind at a time by being the voice of the voiceless and speaking the unspoken, until we have the great privilege, opportunity, and responsibility of being in front of you all again. Please remember, as always, that you are loved. You are necessary, you are majestic, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you, which is all of us working together, we shall be the reason why this world changes for the better. Bare minimum will be the reason why people who are in the system no longer have to be of it. Shalom, family.